I'm Ursula Williams, and my job title, well, general factotum, doing what nobody else wants to do, and from time to time, exhibition organiser. So we began in Baseford. We're an old Nottinghamshire company, and we began as a combination of carpenter and undertaker, which was very common at the time. This is about the 1860s, whereby carpenters ran a little sideline of undertaking because it was quick and easy for them to knock up a coffin for customers. But all the way through the 1990s, this is really going back far in history, we did get more and more requests for personalised and customised coffins, particularly painted coffins. So it began with that, and then gradually somebody asked us to finish off a project they'd begun themselves and got stuck with, which was a Red Arrows airplane. That got featured in, I think it was The Sun. And after that, members of the public have been slowly and gradually ringing us up and asking for different things. It is surprising the reactions people have. Children love them and rampage all over them. So when we took them to the South Bank, we were really surprised that there was no effort at curating, and children with sticky fingers would finger everything, clamber inside everything. One of them snapped the steering wheel off the Rolls Royce. There were footprints all over everything. They had a rough time there, and children were even wheeling the airplane along. So they just regarded it as a giant playground. And I don't think there were any curators. Nobody was keeping them off. And I remember when we went down there with the people who owned the coffins, they became really protective. One of them sat on his coffin and glared at anyone who came near, because they just weren't quite ready for this physical reaction people have to them. Even grown-ups were queuing to get inside the cork to be photographed. So it was amazing, the interaction people seem to want to have with them. But they do, they want to sort of clamber all over them, get into them, and climb in and out and be photographed. People don't want to exhibit coffins unless they have a reason. So we are lucky, we do get invited, and our most prestigious invitation last year was to the South Bank in London, and we exhibited in the Royal Festival Hall for about 10 days, along with some Ghanaian coffins by a famous Ghanaian sculptor. Some of our customers like to see it at every stage of its production. So just at the moment we're doing a Jack Daniel's whiskey bottle, and the chap we're making it for works in Afghanistan, and he's been really keen to see stages of its production. So every evening photographs are taken and they're posted on the Facebook page, and if nothing's done on his coffin for a week or two, he complains and says, what are you doing? Pick up the tools again. Nothing's happening. So some people really do see it at every point. Lots of the customers of Crazy Coffins are actually involved in it too, as much as they do the research for it. So they really do supervise us. And we had one chap who had a train carriage made from the Orient Express, on which he used to love going on holiday. And he was very fussy about what it was upholstered in. So he went off, contacted the Orient Express people, got from them the fabric that they do their upholstery in, and he brought the very fabric into the factory, and we had to upholster it with the buttoning and everything correct that the train carriages do. So on the whole, if the customers are alive and well, then they really are involved in the making of their coffin. So they're not usually surprised by the time they come to the end, because they've been part of it. And of course, for the ones who sadly already departed, then their relatives do sometimes contact us afterwards and say that it lifted the whole funeral for them. The one that's asked for most often in an exhibition is that skip, which probably would take about an hour and a half to make. It's really easy, it's just sort of straight lines and straight planes. Done some urns to match coffins, so they get a crazy coffin and a crazy urn if it's been for a cremation. Quite a few urns come in independently. For example, we do lorries quite often for lorry drivers. So we did a Sainsbury's delivery van, I think, some time ago. We quite often are asked by people, is it in good taste or is it in bad taste? And we don't really mind which it is. We simply do what we're asked to do, to the best that we can do it, and people do seem to find it fun, and it does take away from the grimness of a funeral.